Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Infamous NBA. The finals are officially over tonight. Game 6. The Warriors close out at Boston to win their fourth championship in, what, 8
Warriors.
years? I mean, they did it. They got it done. I'm joined by Kyle to talk about the game and other things. How are
Warriors.
you doing?
Warriors.
Get the chant out.
Uh,
There we go.
you know, I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to see it go to game seven.
Mm.
Um,
How's the
I had a
dog?
solid day though. It was okay. Just an alright day. Just a normal day.
Yeah,
How about you?
I had a pretty normal day, too. I downed 10 tacos pretty easily, I want to say. Like, I could have even gone for maybe 15 if I really had the, like, luxury to do that. I could have done it.
That's pretty different. I
Maybe
mean,
even
that's
20.
pretty.
And some people might say that sounds fucking crazy, but they don't know who I am. So,
Gee, I mean, it's
y'all know
yeah.
who the fuck I am.
Taco Taco Thursday.
Uh, yeah, actually, Taco Thursday. Fuck LeBron.
Yeah,
I do it on my own day, bitch.
and that's pretty fitting considering the Warriors won the championship.
It is
Fuck
pretty fitting.
LeBron, fuck his Taco Tuesday.
Right.
You did what you did. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we down 10. Everyone does it at one point in their life.
I'd hope so. It's a good experience. You feel like shit after, and I feel like the hot sauce like settling in my stomach, like, and it's not a good feeling because it feels like I'm burning alive in the inside. But it's fulfilling when you're doing it, and that's all that really fucking matters. So,
True.
but the Warriors won
For
today.
real. Warriors, yep. Warriors.
Yep, there it is. Curry's finally a Finals MVP after 4 attempts.
It
Took
took him a
him a little
size,
bit.
but got it done.
Mm-hmm. Clay gets a ring, 6 straight NBA Finals for him, seeing as he didn't play the last 2 seasons. Come back out of the injuries he's had, just wins another
Something
one.
light.
Something light.
Something
Draymond
light.
just putting the fucking pedal to the metal out there, flying around the court, doing it
I mean,
all.
they've really won four out of the last eight finals.
That's a dynasty. I mean, they win.
Yeah. I mean,
They
they even did it without KD again.
Yeah, you can't really tarnish this ring. Tarnish this ring. I mean, they didn't do any scandalous
Yeah.
things. They didn't sign the greatest player on the planet and to a
Oh,
73
the
and 9 team and
second greatest.
second. I was just trying to add
I,
like a little bit
I,
of umph to make it sound cooler. But yeah,
no,
LeBron owns that fucker.
let's not pretend KD's that guy. I
You
just
saw
don't
it
want
this
to.
year. Swept,
I mean,
swept,
you
swept,
never know with
swept.
KD. He could
4-0.
be watching this. I mean, he's a guy that he finds his way around social media.
Well, he wouldn't be on his official Kevin Durant YouTube. He'd be on like fucking Billy Bob 16, and then he'd be,
I mean, we'll know if Kevin's watching this. I mean, you'll look at the comments.
yeah, you
Kevin
fucking
will give us
fraud,
a piece of his mind if he's
pussy,
watching.
pussy. All right. Should we get into the stats here on Game 6 and all that
Yeah,
jazz?
we can get into game six.
All
What
right.
game we left it off on game three last episode, I
That
believe. Yeah,
sounds
I think
right.
it was 2-1 Celtics when we
Yeah. But since then, 3 games
hey,
happened. Series is
your
over.
Warriors
My
fruition of them
Warriors,
winning the
you
championship
know,
came true.
they didn't do it in 7. They did it in 6. They won up me. I mean, they just came out here. They got the winning pedigree. Andrew Wiggins played out of his mind this series. I do believe.
Warriors.
Stud. Earned himself some money. You love that. 18 points. Otto Porter
Yeah,
hit 2 threes when they were busting it wide open in the second corner. That's big. Draymond, not the most points, but for 12 points for him is like a
hey,
damn career night. In these
and
days and age.
he had a pretty dangerous mid-range shot
Oh,
over
stop the
somebody when
comeback.
the shot clock was when the
They
shot
were
clock
going
was
down.
running down. That shocked me. I was like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
Dre.
Even hit a couple threes.
Yeah,
He
I
wasn't
mean,
scared.
yeah, he
Knocked
was
them
out
fuckers
there. I mean,
down.
he was hooping.
12 boards, 8 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 5
You
turnovers.
know,
You know, it happens.
oh, Game Six Clay couldn't be a thing forever, and
Ooh.
did that did not
Whew.
Game Six Clay did not hold up
Whew.
tonight, unfortunately for
He was
Clay, but
trying.
they got it done. So it he gave them enough.
The
He
big game.
actually played the
Mm-hmm.
second, or he played more minutes and stuff than the boys. Some of the boys.
It's
Andrew
interesting.
Wiggins put in a 44-minute shift damn near. My
That's the
lord,
guy
Andrew.
locking down Tatum. But yeah,
Yeah,
Clay,
he's a
they were trying to get Game 6 activated in the beginning of the game. Like, he was taking the majority of the shots, and he just was not putting them fuckers down. Ended up 5 for 20, 20%, 25% from the field. But they still got the job done without Clay doing shit. He played actually awful. Besides him just like
yeah.
not scoring, he would like every time he got the ball, he would like turn it over or just it was fucking ugly. It was an ugly, ugly game. But everyone else showed up, so
Well, luckily they had superhuman Andrew Wiggins for this series, guard locking down Tatum the whole
Hmm.
time. Tatum played pretty awful throughout the finals.
Yeah, we'll
Did
get to that.
some work on Brown. He gave them some points. We'll get into the series stats, but Andrew Wiggins was easily the second best player in the Warriors, I'd say.
Yeah, and then Curry, 34 points, wrapping up his Finals MVP, solidifying it. Hit a couple mean threes to start off his third quarter. I mean, he was a man
Yep.
possessed, you could say.
Big Stephen Curry, man. He came out and he got the job done. He closed it out.
Kevon Looney,
Something that hasn't been particularly said about Steph throughout the rest of the finals, but he closed this one out for sure.
indeed. Kevon Looney showed up. He dressed for this game. He got 7 boards. Um,
He gave 4 personal fouls. He was
he was
out there
hacking.
getting gritty. He was
Mm-hmm.
grinding.
Damn right. Um, Gary Payton,
Gary, speaking of grinding and just a
grinding,
dog,
grinder.
Gary Payton the second.
Jordan Poole.
He may have accidentally snuck himself into some money. I don't know if the Warriors are going to be able to bring back Gary Payton. We'll see once we get to their contract situation eventually. But yeah,
hmm
it's a dog.
Jordan Poole. He didn't play enough minutes to get my Finals MVP. It's unfortunate. Went with a long shot. I didn't know he'd play fucking about 20 minutes. He only played
Yeah,
17 in this game, but he did give a valuable 17, closer to 18. He had a couple big threes, back to back to back. I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, to really wide
hmm
open, busted wide open that second quarter. So he played his part.
yeah. I mean, I think the main reason Poole couldn't really play as much was just due to the fact that he pretty much would have to play as shooting guard due to the fact that Curry's getting, he's going to get his 40 minutes every game.
Yeah,
And they don't want to put Poole on Jalen Brown probably, so
yeah.
it
I
makes it a little harder for them to get him in there.
Yeah, I didn't look into the depths of it, but it didn't, turn out being a Finals MVP
Yeah,
for
I
Jordan
mean,
Poole. It's
there definitely
unfortunate.
was a universe where Jordan Poole averaged 28 minutes a game and averaged 22 points a game and was the
Yep.
big X factor, but that
No,
universe was not
not
this
this one.
universe.
Iguodala played a minute, maybe his
Yep,
last game,
got his a
possibly.
minute potentially.
See how
I
it
don't know. I
goes.
mean, I could still see Iggy riding that bench with the Warrior boys and just sticking around until the Warriors are officially came to an end. Seems like
Yeah,
something he may do. He could pull his Udonis hat his own bag out.
yeah, and he's not as useless as he is, so he could
Not
still give you
yet.
some production, maybe. We'll see. But that was the Warriors. They won. We'll move on to the Celtics, who lost, and we could see why here.
Ouch.
Tatum didn't do fucking jack shit. 13 points, 5 turnovers, 3 fouls, 6 for 18 shooting, and he's the star of this team, and he definitely didn't play like one.
Kind of the story of the series was, I mean, the rest of the boys were at least pretty good for most of the games. Jim Brown had a couple off games, and all of them had their off games, but there was always some of the boys were stepping up. Always at least Horford or Smart or somebody. Derek White had his game.
hmm
Jalen Brown would have some big games. Robert Williams was consistently just a solid guy,
Yeah.
and it was just Tatum was the guy that just didn't seem to show up.
Who did show up in this game though? Al Horford, big game one,
Big Al,
big game six. He was the one that really brought it back there towards the end of the third when they were kind of within about like 12 to 10. Hit
big
four big
momentum
threes.
shift.
Yeah, he was big.
It,
14
it
rebounds. Whew.
He had the
Playing
big
big.
and one, and then blocked Jordan Poole the next possession.
Yes,
Jordan
sir.
Poole thought he could drive by him. That was pretty different from Big Al.
He was trying his best. Robert Williams had 5 blocks. That was his fucking paint tonight. Two
He,
turnovers, 10 points. I mean, he had a pretty productive game.
he averaged a lot of blocks this series for like not like he got 32 minutes tonight, but I think he was more averaging like closer to 20 from the other games. But he just had a lot of blocks this series. He gets himself some blocks. It's
Right.
the Time Lord.
Jalen Brown, 34 points, was trying to will his team back into it in multiple points, but just couldn't really get there. But he played
He gave it his best
great.
shot.
Not good enough. 5 turnovers though for him too. I mean, this that was really the story. Is the Celtics just turning the ball over, I think 23 times. Not gonna win you many games doing shit like that. But that's what they did, and they lost. So Marcus Smart, he uh he had 9 assists,
Yeah, I
playmaker.
mean he tried to do some of the little things to make up for his offense not being the best.
hmm
Yeah, I also didn't Robert Williams also had 5 offensive rebounds, by the way. Just
Oh shit.
fun fact. He
Yeah,
was
I
he
told
was up
that was his
there getting
paint.
them boards.
That was his fucking paint. Derek White. I mean, the first shot he took, I knew his game was a fucking chalk. I mean, it was like a air ball off the side of the. Like, it was terrible. It was like off the bat. It wasn't even close. I was like, oh, he's never gonna
Yeah,
shoot it again. He tried, but it didn't work. So no production from him or Grant Williams, and those are your two bench players that play at all, and they didn't do fucking anything. So
yeah. Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, and Grant Williams didn't give them anything. Grant Williams didn't give them anything the whole series, pretty much. Neither really did Pritchard, and Derek White had like one game, and then maybe another game where he gave him a little bit.
yeah, I mean Grant Williams was like a big reason they were winning a lot of those games in earlier series with like his random performances of just dropping like fucking 5 plus threes. It's like you get that out of Grant Williams, and you have everyone else around him. It's gonna win you some games, but in this series, not so much. Wasn't hitting. But yeah, that's the Celtics, and that's their season, and it's over.
Yeah, it is. Has it looked like for a minute they were going to bring it back and have that signature come back in the fourth quarter they've been kind of having throughout the series, but the Warriors held off.
They did. It was a blowout for a good majority of the game, but it did get cut close a couple of times where you thought they were going on a run and going to make a comeback, but every time they got somewhat close within like 10, the Warriors just stomped on their neck, and by the end of the game, it was pretty much over by a long shot.
Yep, a few big threes to put them down in the fourth, and then you just piled on, and you knew it was over.
Yeah, we'll get into the overall team stats and shit, overall series points and all that for players. The Warriors averaged 5 more or 4 more. Jesus, 4 more points. That's quick math.
Yep,
Yep,
4 more.
there we go. Anything here look a little shocking in the?
The only thing that's a little shocking is the fact that the Celtics shot 41% from three. I mean, they were banning.
Mm,
Another shocking thing, actually. I mean, how are you going to shoot 41% from three, but then 75% from the line?
ooh,
I mean,
and
75% isn't horrific, but you want better from your team. I mean, that's below league average, I would presume. Maybe not, but
yeah,
I'd say league average is probably around there. But I mean, the guys you have going to the free throw to the free throw line for the Celtics are all pretty good free throw shooters for the most part. So you'd want to see that a little higher.
yeah. Everything else that looks, you know, about what you'd expect probably.
And I also will say the turnovers for the Celtics is
Well, yeah, 17's not.
it's not what you would want to see. Even the Warriors are maybe even a little bit higher than what you'd want to see. You probably want to see it more towards the 11, 12 mark, but
Yeah,
you know, they got it done. Celtics didn't. 17 turnovers is a lot
indeed.
per
Especially
game.
22, I think I saw in this past game, game six. So just add to that total. Doesn't help.
Does
Um,
not help.
Overall stats: Curry averaged 31 throughout the series. Wiggins 18. Clay around 17. And then Poole, and then no one else really a whole lot of scoring. But you got your big four guys averaging 10 plus.
Yeah, Curry was really good throughout the playoffs. He didn't really have much. He had one off game. Was that game five? Or no, not game four, I think. I don't know. It was one of the games. Or no, it was game five, I'm pretty
Yeah, it
sure,
was
where they
game
won.
five.
He was like 7
Mm-hmm.
for 24 from the field.
Yeah, he played really bad, and they
Um,
still pulled it out.
yeah, I think that was his only off game throughout the series. He did have some fourth quarters, maybe where he wasn't showing up to help stop the Celtics from going on a run. But
Mm-hmm.
he closed it out this time, and he had overall his stats are great. So
Yeah.
definitely earned himself that Finals MVP. Wiggins too. I mean, Wiggins was easily their second best player. He was great defense on Tatum throughout the series. Gave you 18 points a game too. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
solid efficiency, 45 from the field. Maybe get the 3 point efficiency up a little bit, but he did all the dirty work. He was the dirty work guy for the Warriors this
Well,
series.
all right. I'm gonna
Do
be
all the little
honest. If you would have told me before the series started that Clay Thompson would average 17 points, I'd probably think the Celtics would win it a lot easier than like six. Because I was thinking when the series before it started that Clay had to average like 22 somewhere in that range for them to want to win this series. Because I didn't think Wiggins would play like how he did, and obviously Poole didn't get the minutes I thought he would. But I mean, having Wiggins do what he did pretty much won him the series because if they didn't have that production and they also didn't get what like obviously Clay didn't do shit. They'd have been in a bit of a pickle, to say the
Yeah, I
least.
mean Wiggins is crucial, best defender in the court for them, and just in the series in general, and also their second best offensive player. I mean, they without Wiggins there, they are not looking at Game 6 winning the championship probably. So.
Yeah, and Clay shot 35% from the field.
Yeah, no, Clay was
Unbelievable.
awful for the
Yeah.
series pretty much. We didn't get Game 6 Clay. We didn't really
Mm-hmm.
get any game Clay.
No.
Clay was just not. He was not on. Maybe fake Clay threw him off a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
He got into the. Did you see the fake
Oh yeah,
Clay?
I saw that.
Yeah, man,
Fake
I'm
Clay was
sure it
banging
was
threes.
everywhere. Yeah, no, he
That
went
guy's a
out there and he was
sharpshooter.
hitting he was hitting some shots. Big
Put him in
Dawes,
there. Fuck Clay
he
Thompson.
goes.
Get big fucking Dawes in there. That guy's banging threes. But yeah, Clay
Yeah,
Thompson. Oof.
other than the top four, Otto Porter was all right for the minutes he got. He
Mm-hmm.
solid defender, gave you a couple threes throughout the series. Did what he had to. Looney, did what he had to up there. Basically, they had the little guys did what they needed to. No one tried to do too much really. Gary Payton, just went out there. Was his dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what he does. No one really played out of their role. Clay maybe shot a little more and maybe did a little too much for the way he was playing, but that's their second guy usually, so you could see why that would happen. But the whole team just played well enough. They played like a team. They got it done.
Indeed. Draymond Green, a dog, of course. Only averaged 6 points in the series, but 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.7 steals. I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't his best series. Had a really really nice game 6 though.
yeah,
I believe he had a pretty solid game 5 just in general. I don't know if the stats back that up because his stats usually don't back it up for him, but
he does the things that don't show up on the stat sheet. He does the little things, setting the screens, setting people up,
he's the team
hustling,
defense. He,
getting a
he's the
couple
guy
points.
that he's the guy that will he'll call out everything for you on defense. He'll be the general of your defense. He'll be the hype man of the team. He'll do the dirty work. Even though Andrew Wiggins was doing the most dirty work probably for the team throughout the series, he was doing it all for them.
Hmm.
But yeah, Draymond's just that glue. He's what keeps the motor going.
Damn right. That's the Warriors for this series. The
Sure
Celtics,
is. Warriors.
a bit of a
Sorry.
grim look for some of these players. Jalen Brown.
Yeah.
I would say Jalen Brown did what you wanted him to do this series.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a grim look for anyone really besides Tatum. I mean, Derek White's stats are kind of grim, but it's Derek White at the end of the day, and he gave you one really good game, so can't ask for much more. But yeah, Jalen Brown, I mean, maybe you want a little bit more, but he did pretty solid. He had a couple bad games, but he also had a couple of really solid games. He tried to push the comeback for
Hmm.
Game 6, but fortunately didn't quite get the help he needed to end that.
I mean, Jason Tatum just has to be better. I mean, he's
Yeah, he's
supposed to
stunk it up.
be like borderline top 10 player, stud, texting Kobe every game, doing this on Instagram, and you come out and you just get put in a fucking bag in a win or go home situation.
Andrew
It's
Wiggins had
tough.
him in a jail cell.
He had him in
The
a
whole
fucking
Warriors
jail cell.
defense did. The Warriors just they got that team defense. They got their primary defender. They just had a whole thing going, and Tatum could not figure it out for the life of him.
Yeah, he was getting clowned on
And not
Twitter.
to
Oof, tough luck today for Tatum.
not to mention also, I didn't realize that this is also probably part of the reason why their free throw percentage is so down. I mean, he shot 66% from the line. What is he? How?
Mm.
You're Jason Tatum. That's unacceptable.
Averaging
I
the most in the
cannot.
team.
I mean, what did he shoot in the regular season? I mean, he had to probably shoot over 80%. I would presume. I mean, he's a good shooter.
You'd hope
I
so.
mean, it's 65% though in the finals from your best player on your team. If it's especially if it's not a center or like something. I mean, Jason Tatum's a shooter. You cannot have him go out there and shoot 65% from the line. I mean, that just also shows that his rhythm was off. I mean, Wiggins was in his head. It seems. I mean,
Apparently.
how are you going out there shooting 65% from the line? It's just not okay.
Yeah, he shot 36 from the field. I mean, he did shoot pretty good from three, but 45. But I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he shot 85% from the line in the regular season. I mean,
Ooh, yeah, I thought what's that? 20% fall off?
maybe some first finals jitters.
Something. That's just not good. That's just simply not
Clearly,
good.
he just never had a rhythm. I mean, that's just terrible.
You just simply can't run
Jalen
with him.
Brown was, yeah. I mean, Jalen Brown didn't have that same free throw line jitter.
Mm.
Still gave you 81%.
Yeah, I mean everyone else on the team kind of did what you wanted them to do throughout the series, probably. Maybe besides Grant Williams, and who didn't get the most
Yeah,
playing time. But Marcus Smart, 15 points per game. You'll take that
and
probably.
Marcus Smart was pretty good. I mean, 41% from three,
Mm, yep.
43% from the field, gave you 15. He had some step up games.
Yep.
Not the best game six, but I mean, he played well. Maybe you would want a little bit better defense than Curry, but it's Curry at the end of the day.
Hmm. I mean,
Yeah,
Al Horford
Horford had some
moving up.
great moments.
He besides game one and game two, or not game two, game six. I mean, he wasn't doing a whole lot of scoring, but I mean, he probably overproduced for what they wanted. I mean, game one, he pretty much won in the game. Game six, he brought him back into the game. I mean, he was like their X factor player in two finals games. Damn, well, I mean, Jalen Brown did drop 34 this past game, but Al Horford was like the one
Yeah,
that kind of brought him back into it, getting
and
blocks,
wasn't
getting
Jalen
threes.
Brown also pretty good game one, if I remember right? I
I don't
think
know. I
it
just
was.
know Al Horford would turn into
I don't
Jesus
know.
Christ reborn and hit like
Yeah, no,
six threes
Al
and was
Horford
fucking a man
was
possessed.
unbelievable game one. That was also game one was the Derek White game, I think too. So maybe
Yeah.
Jalen. I think Jalen Brown actually only had like 22 or something. I don't think he was extraordinary, and I don't think it was a big 30, but maybe it was. But yeah, Al Horford and he gave you two games. Derek White gave you game one, and
Hmm.
Marcus Smart had some games. Jalen Brown was good for the majority of the games in the series. Just Tatum, he only really. I remember I'm having like one solid game that they lost where the other players didn't play too well. But other than that one solid game, I don't really remember any key moments of Jason Tatum being that guy for the Celtics, which once again is unacceptable.
Yeah. The only other guy that's worth noting is Robert Williams, who obviously was just a defensive machine, blocking the shit out of dudes. Average 2.8.
Off the block.
I mean, what do you want to do? Be an enforcer in the paint, gritty defense. I mean, he was flying around last night, blocking everything.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we've said it again and again, but this series just comes down to really Tatum. I mean, everyone else gave you at least enough to where you'd be okay with it.
Right.
And Tatum just he did not give you the star performance he needs to give you if you ever want to win a championship.
It's unfortunate, but we'll move on now from the team stats to what maybe the Celtics can look forward to in the future. Losing the finals, obviously, not what they wanted to see. But can they do anything in the offseason to come back a little bit stronger and push for it next year? Obviously, Tatum locked up. Brown got a couple years. Maybe Al Horford is. I mean, you probably just keep him, right?
Yeah, you would want to keep Al Horford out. I would assume. I mean, he was really good for you in the playoffs.
Right.
And I think Al Horford wants to be in Boston based off the last few. I mean, he's played the best in Boston over the last years of his career. He wasn't the same kind of player, and on the 76ers he can be used the same.
Mhm.
He went to the Thunder for that little stretch where he got traded there to kind of have his career go die with Chris Paul and the boys and all
Mhm.
that shenanigans. I don't was he there after Chris Paul or was he there with Chris? I don't know, but
That's a good
he
question.
went there and to to go die in
Mhm.
Oklahoma City with the rebuild.
Right.
Celtics went and scooped him up, and he's back to Al Horford. So I would assume he wants to stay with the Celtics, and they'll probably make that happen. But
Yeah. I mean,
we'll
he
see, I
looks
guess.
really good. I mean, he's an older fella. He's 36, but this is the best he's looked since like his prime Hawk days, probably. Right. I mean,
Yeah, I
he
mean
looks great.
he was really good when he was on the Celtics. His first stretch on the Celtics too. I mean, he had a playoff series where he was locking up Joel Embiid and he couldn't do anything.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, Al Horford is
Still
he
a
just
dog
looked
though.
really good as a Celtic.
Still a dog. Marcus Smart,
He has the dog.
always been a dog. They got him on a pretty decent contract, to be honest.
Yeah, not bad.
Derek White locked up on a. What would you talk about that contract? Is that a little bit too
That's
much or?
that's definitely a little bit too much in my personal opinion. I don't look at
16,
Derek
18,
White
19.
and
Yeah,
think I'm gonna pay that guy 16 to 20 mil a year.
that's what the
He's
Spurs
more
did.
like a
Spurs did that.
mid-level exception guy. This is I would
Hey, they had to
hope
have,
the
right?
Celtics and I mean they probably did because he did have that really good playoff series with the Spurs where they were pushing.
Well, shit.
Oh, I don't even remember who were they. They were pushing somebody. They got like the 2 seed to game seven, I think, but I can't remember who the 2 seed was. But
Neither can I. Did they play the
was that
Nuggets?
the Nugget? I think I was thinking the Nuggets, but I don't know. I can't remember for sure.
Neither can I. I'm not gonna lie. That just
But
random.
I'm pretty sure he got paid off of that series with the Spurs. I would assume. Yeah, he did sign it with the Spurs. I looked it
Oh
up.
shit. We'll see what they do with him. They're probably just. He's a good guy to have. He's a good role player.
I mean, it's a
He's good. He's
contract you have if, like, you see a potential trade that comes up. It's a contract that you can match up to like a solid amount of money, somewhere in the 20s.
hmm
So yeah, I mean, he's a contract you can put together with another one if someone comes available and you want to try to make a splash move. So
Yeah, they got Robert Williams locked up. Not bad.
yeah, it's a good contract for Robert Williams, I'd say.
Daniel Tice. I mean, you probably don't like that really. He's not really
It's
playing.
not the best out there. I mean, you could see a better contract
You
maybe,
could
but
definitely. Grant
You know,
Williams.
Tice was a good guy for them at one point. Yeah, Grant Williams are gonna. You would assume they're gonna bring back.
hmm
They should have full bird rights on him. They should be able to pay him what they need to pay him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they don't really have. There's not gonna be a lot that changes with the team necessarily. Uh, I think maybe they probably do want to make a move. I don't know if this team goes back to the finals next year. I mean, the league should get more competitive. I mean, I'm assuming teams are going to make moves to try to fix what went wrong for them this year.
Mm.
So I would probably want to see the Celtics make a move. I don't really know exactly what. Do you have anything potentially in mind?
No, I just see right here they're losing Matt Ryan, the Colts' new quarterback in free agency. That's a bit of an unfortunate development for that team, but
That was
see if they can
actually
bring him
part of the
back.
Colts trade. Is Matt Ryan? Matt
Yeah.
Ryan actually signed a 70-day contract with the Celtics.
Mm. Hey, well, I
It was
mean,
the first one in NBA history.
I
He said
respect
that
it.
he had to be on the team in case they won the chip. You know, he is Matt Ryan is from Massachusetts, I believe. He went to Boston College,
He
so
did. It makes sense. It's all writing up. It's a feel good story.
it is. You would have liked to see him get his chip while he's on the team, but
Yeah,
you know
yeah, it
he's
sucks.
not going to be there next year. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Is there anything else about the Celtics we can really talk about? I mean, they're kind of locked. It looks like maybe they can add a couple role players or.
I think they need the. It's tough because Marcus Smart's really good, but I don't even know like I feel like they almost need a slightly better playmaking offensive version of Marcus Smart with his defense, which just isn't out there.
Mm, I
Because I
see.
like Al Horford at center. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a tough spot because they're gonna go out there. They're gonna either start White, Smart, Brown, Tatum, and Horford next year, or like depending on what the lineups are and stuff. I mean, it could go Robert Williams, Horford, Tatum, Brown, Smart. You could go bigger. You could go smaller. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like they need to find a way to upgrade the team in some capacity, maybe get a little more playmaking. I know they did average more assists per game than the Warriors, but there's just something needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, either way, whatever they do, they're obviously not far off. They just went Game 6 in the NBA Finals, so this team obviously can win.
Yeah,
Maybe another year under their belt. Tatum's only 24, Brown's only 26. I mean, they still could win championships easily with that
they have a
full
lot of
squad.
playoff experience, so as a unit. So I don't know if experience was a big issue. It was, a few guys' first finals, but
hmm
I don't know. I just look at the team on paper. They're really good, and they easily could definitely could make it to the finals next year again. But I just see other teams are going to try to get better. I'm assuming some teams will definitely look better on paper.
The Kings.
It just seems like, well, I was more talking about the Eastern Conference with the
Oh, just
Kings.
throw the Kings in there.
Dark horse NBA championship next
Some
year
say
potentially.
rumors are rolling. They're going around.
They're,
Don't look now.
yeah, let's maybe retract that statement. The
Uh huh.
Kings are the Kings are the Kings,
Okay.
but in the East, you would assume the teams are going to try to make moves, get better. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Celtics can make a move to get better themselves, and if they don't, they could still make it pretty far, maybe go to the finals even again. But that's hard to do. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see. Should we look at the Warriors, or I mean,
Yeah,
they just won.
let's just
We'll
take a
just
peek at the Warriors. Let's see what the looks are.
let's take a look at our champions here. I mean, they're what are they gonna do? I mean, they still got a young dude. I mean, this team is fucked up a little bit, but
Yeah, the Warriors they've done it. They built Bob Myers is a great GM. Basically, is
oh
what
yeah,
this is. I mean, he's gotten help from players like KD wanting to go there, but like, I mean, when the Warriors were bad, he made sure they were really bad. They got their picks, they got the young players. I mean, like he just found ways. They had a great draft pick with Jordan Poole.
this team's just not gonna go anywhere. Steph Curry is obviously getting the fucking absolute bag, so he's not.
Yeah, no, this team's pretty locked. I mean, they are gonna have to pay Wiggins again here soon.
That's the question. Do they pay Wiggins? Or they let him? Is he too much for him to spend? Is he gonna
I
go somewhere
think
with a better
they kind of
contract?
have to. You would assume. I mean, if they lose Wiggins, I mean, without Wiggins, this team is not competing with the Celtics. Probably. I mean, like? I mean, he did just locked up Tatum. I mean, it would be crazy for them not to. He was easily their second best player on the court for the Warriors
Yeah,
this series, at least.
I mean, cap doesn't matter for shit, but I mean, can they even bring back Wiggins? Is that even a
Yeah, I believe they should be able to.
what would that contract look like? Like 20s? Is that more like
Uh,
25? Fucking
yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to
something
pay
like
him
that.
again.
We'll see. I mean, the team might get desperate, like,
It's
oh, look
gonna
what Wiggins can
be
do. Might get like give him some
it's gonna be weird
stupid
because they're paying
contract.
Steph so much money.
And
So
Clay 40. I mean, that's no fucking
yeah,
easy pill to swallow.
and then
Draymond.
Draymond's also getting his cash. I
It's
could honestly even see Draymond declining his player option and tell Bob, "Look, I need 30, pal."
oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to keep the big three together, and Poole is like a mainstay. But the Warriors have the pieces to make a trade, though, is the scariest part about them. I
I
mean,
mean,
they've shopped Wiseman. I mean, they got Kuminga, they got Moody.
Jesus. Yeah, they got a young dude just replace the like.
I mean, they got three really good trade chips right there. They got Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. They're not going to trade Poole. Poole's not going anywhere. But Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman, they combine that. I mean, they could even trade Wiggins in that pile to match
Yeah.
a max contract and get a get another max player on the team. I mean, that'd
Who
be
would that even be? I
terrifying.
mean, who the fuck could they
Whoever,
pull
like,
that
I
off for?
mean, it wouldn't be Bradley Beal, but like, it would be probably someone like a Bradley Beal. I mean, it could be a Bradley Beal,
Rudy
but
Gobert.
I would assume they would want, yeah, Rudy Gobert. Like that's someone that the Warriors that'd be scary. That'd
No,
really not be
Draymond,
good.
Gobert, Curry, Clay, Poole. Whew.
And I wonder if
That's
there's probably
fucked.
not a way they could get that done without giving up Wiggins, which obviously the Jazz probably want to still stay competitive. So I could see them getting Wiggins doing that back. I kind of like that trade for both sides, to be honest. But
Yeah. I mean,
the
they
only thing with
got.
that is the Warriors would need a guy that could be that guy that could guard someone like a Tatum again, which maybe they could if they did that, they could find a way to turn Kaminga into that guy. I mean, Kaminga
Yeah.
is a very athletic guy.
And they have all these young dudes they could just keep, and we don't even know how really good these dudes are going to be. Like Wiseman, we haven't really seen his full potential. Kaminga looks
Yeah, he's
good when
been
he's
super
played.
injured.
Moody really didn't get a chance this year, but if they all develop, I mean, this team could be fucking a nightmare if they have just like three dudes off the bench that are just
And the
studs.
Warriors are they've been quite good at developing players over the years recently.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's not. I mean, yeah, it's pretty scary to be honest. I mean, they either got a chance to develop at least like one of these three young guys right there, besides Poole, obviously. The other three that haven't shown as much, they got a chance to maybe turn one of them into something really good, or even more than one of them. or they could potentially package them up with Wiggins or just maybe without Wiggins and get a really good player in return. So the Warriors got a lot of options. There's only going to get better realistically. I mean, you could see some decline from Clay or even Steph. I mean, they're up there in age. Clay didn't have the
Yeah.
best playoffs.
I
He
think
had his moments at
Clay.
times.
I think Clay will be better next year when he gets a full off season. He's like fully
Yeah,
recovered because I think he'll be not back to what he was, but back to not
yeah,
a little bit better
maybe
than this.
a little better on defense, more consistent, have more of the rhythm going into the season because he came in like I think 18 games into the season or a little later. I think they were 18-2 when he came in or some. I think he was talking about that in the finals in the interview. So the boys held him before he came in. This time though, he'll have the off season to be prepared to come into the season. He'll get some preseason action, maybe
Hmm.
get a rhythm. So he could be more dangerous going into next year.
Yeah. Before we get off the Warriors, I want to give a bit of a golf clap to some of the players that aren't getting recognized for being NBA champions, real quick. Chris
Oh, okay.
Chiozza,
Oh, Chris
Quindary Weatherspoon,
Quindary
Juan Toscano Anderson.
won.
Yep.
Hey, won the dog, man.
That's a dog. NBA champion too. Gary or not Gary Payton. He deserved it. Bielitsa, former Kings
Hey,
legend.
he got a game where he got some minutes.
Yes, sir. Does anyone else deserve some praise here?
Damian Lee, the
Damian
cousin
Lee.
of Curry.
Oh, Nico Mannion, please.
Oh, Nico.
There we go. I just want to give some shout outs to the NBA champions that are going to go unheard of and no one's going to know they have a ring, but I'm not going to forget.
And just to touch on the Warriors, so we did talk about how they have all these young guys, and they're probably just going to replace some of these guys that are losing with that. But someone like Otto Porter Jr., they're probably not going to be able to bring back. They have
Yeah.
non-bird rights on him, so they can only offer him up to like 5 mil about. So he probably will go get a mid-level exception somewhere.
Hmm.
Gary Payton the second, they could lose out on. I don't know if a team could offer him. Like I could see that being the kind of guy that a team could offer a mid-level exception to and justify it in some way. I don't know if he will get that or if he'll just come back to the Warriors, but he definitely could be someone that tries to get a little bit more money somewhere else.
Right.
And
Looney,
yeah, they
maybe?
got full bird rights on Looney, so I
Okay.
don't think Looney's gonna go anywhere. And Bielita they'll probably lose, but it's not
Yeah,
a big deal.
yeah. He got his ring, get him out.
But yeah, the main pieces they probably lose this year. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could just want to run it back, but
Yeah.
realistically, they could lose Otto Porter and Gary Payton and Bielita. Those are probably the three guys that leave this offseason. So,
Hmm.
and I mean, they got the players waiting to replace them, so I don't really see that as much of an issue.
Yeah, I don't think you're really losing sleep. I mean, Gary Payton, it's unfortunate because he's a dog, but the other two, I mean, they're
Yeah, I
replaceable players.
mean, yeah, yeah, they're even Gary Payton. I mean, he is a dog, but you got dogs.
Hmm.
Otto Porter, I mean, he was pretty good for them this year. He's someone that he can give you some good defense and some good 3-point shooting. But yeah, I mean the Warriors will figure it out without those guys. I don't know what they got in the offseason. I don't think they can have a full mid level exception. They probably got the buy-in or like a $5 million like
Hmm.
sort of thing they can offer to somebody. So maybe they can bring in another little guy to just add to the boys.
Yeah. We'll see how it all goes, but they're the champions, so we're just looking over what they could possibly do. We'll see what they do. They've got a bunch of young dudes, the vets, mix them together, and they might have something fucking spooky next year again.
Yeah.
So,
At the end of the day, they're in about as good of a spot as you could ask to be in.
yeah, they sure fucking are. They sure are. Should we move on to the big
Especially
trade here?
yeah, no, let's dive into it.
So, it started. When was this? Wednesday. We had this trade.
Yeah,
Our first.
second trade of the NBA season.
Yep.
Let's hey
Show your respect to
Jermichael
Jermichael
Green.
Green. What team's he on?
It was Jermichael, right? It wasn't Jeff.
No
Oh
idea.
shit.
This is on
Let
you. I don't
me.
even know. No one tweeted about it. I don't give a
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
I didn't even know what
You
happened.
know,
I didn't even know
it
what
was just
happened.
pretty much a salary dump, I believe. I
I
mean, I'll.
I follow a bunch of Twitter dudes in NBA. I was like, no one tweeted, but no one gave a shit. I was like, I didn't even know what happened. I was shocked to hear that you told me that one of the Greens got traded. It brought a tear to my eye almost. and no
Yeah,
one knew who
what?
the
Yeah, it
fuck.
was JaMychal Green. They traded him for the 30th pick to the Thunder to dump the salary.
They
Or
did what for
they
what?
wait, no. The Thunder traded the 30th pick to the Nuggets for JaMychal Green and a future first. Is
Okay,
what the trade was.
I was gonna say
So
Jesus.
yeah,
They got the
basically
30th
the
pick and Michael Green. Jesus. No, that's that's cool.
I think I don't know what year. Oh, they got a 2027 protected first round
Oh
pick from
wow,
the
there you
Nuggets.
go. 5 years. That
So
gives them something to
that
go now in
hey, that
27.
could honestly
Woo.
that could like I mean who knows what the Nuggets are in 5 years. I mean
Yeah, who
not a
knows?
bad idea to go go out and get one, especially if you don't like if you're the Thunder and you just I mean you got picks for days and maybe you don't like this free agent or this draft class as much and maybe that's why they did it. But
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But the big trade that everyone was actually talking about that got some noise was the Mavericks. They sent Boban, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris, 26 pick to the Rockets in return for Christian Wood. What are your thoughts? Who won the trade? Is it a good trade? Is it a bad trade? What happened here?
I mean, to me, it's just like it's a little shocking that Christian Wood's value was the 26th pick and some garbage along the side of it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, the Mavs definitely won the trade. They didn't have a lot of flexibility anyway, so getting Wood doesn't really change that. So yeah, they just added another guy to the team. I don't know if he's gonna make the biggest impact. He's just a little. He's a nice addition for sure. Like I mean, he's definitely like another good scorer that you can have next to Luca, give you some better pick and roll game.
Hmm.
So I mean, I like it for them. I don't know if it's like a big move that's going to be like, yeah, the Mavs are going to be even more serious next year, but it's just good, solid little move for them for sure. What do you think?
Now, is Christian Wood the guy that can't really play defense? Is that his flaw?
I mean, he's not the worst. He's a solid rim protector. He's not the best perimeter guy.
Either
He's
way,
just he's just okay, a little below average probably.
okay, below average, average. I think the Mavericks fucking fleeced the Rockets. I mean, I think Christian Wood is a very solid player. The Rockets have been horseshit the past 2 years, so it's no one's watching him, no one cares. But Christian Wood's been a dude. I don't know what his stats are off my top of my head. I'm sorry, I don't know that, but they're pretty solid. And the Mavericks need some help besides Luca and Brunson. When he's not showing up, they don't really have a second option. And Tim Hardaway's coming back. You add Christian Wood down low where they didn't who they got Dwight Powell. I mean that
He'll probably be playing the four next to Dwight Powell, so it could be like Wood and Kleba, or it could be Wood and Powell starting. I would assume
yeah.
probably be one of those two combinations.
And you trade the 26th pick, which at that point you're probably not going to get someone who's just going to help you right now, which is what they need. Someone to help Luca because they're trying to win now, and Luca's not, you know, getting
Hmm.
older. How old is Luca? Like fucking 23, 24?
Yeah, he's young as they come.
Yeah, and
He's a
he's
young lad still.
one of the best players in the league. You need to give that man some help immediately. And they trade away players that I'm sorry, no offense to these four names, but Boban, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, and Marquise Chris
Yeah, I
are
mean the
just
biggest name that they're trading is Boban, who doesn't
yeah.
even really
None of these
play
guys
for
even
them.
fucking play. These guys aren't even in the rotation, and you get some guy who's gonna give you value right away. I think the fucking Mavericks. I mean, maybe not for like the biggest name in the world, Christian Wood, but I think they fucking fleeced the shit out of him. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean Christian Wood's really good, and I think maybe he's being a little like he obviously wasn't overvalued in this trade. I think he's worth more than the 26 pick, but I think he's maybe a little overvalued based on the perspective that he could change the Mavericks a lot. Like I still think they'll be rather similar. I do like I mean he definitely has potential. He's still, a young NBA career. He just had his 26-year-old season.
mm-hmm.
So he still has some potential to improve. And I think maybe on a team like the Mavericks that were really good defensively last year, I think he's someone that definitely has the potential to be an okay defender on a good defending team. I don't think he'll be a liability on the Mavericks by any means.
Yeah,
And I mean, he was really good this last year. I mean, he averaged 18 points a game on 39% from three and 50% from the field. So,
yeah.
and
The
the
year
year
before that,
before that,
21.
21 points. Yeah, I mean, he did what he needed. Once again, he's on Houston though, so
Yeah,
he's getting those extra opportunities. He still shot efficiently, which you like to see as someone on a tanking team, rebuilding team. Um, but yeah, he has potential, and he could definitely help the Mavs. I don't know if it's going to be a big change in what the Mavs look like next year, but he's definitely a great addition and has the potential to improve them for sure.
I think if they keep Brunson, I think they're gonna be a bit better than what you think they're gonna be. I think this helps quite a bit to add another guy that can score and just another good
Yeah,
player. I mean, who was their center even this past year?
Kleba and
Yeah, I mean Kleba's
Dwight Powell.
Kleba's all right. I mean, but you bring him off the bench now if they keep him, and you got
Yeah,
a
I'd
strong
probably
shooter.
personally start Kleba and Christian Wood. Kleba at the 4, Wood at the 5.
Either
I
way,
mean,
Powell
Dwight
off the
Powell's pretty
bench,
mid at the end of
he's
the day.
all right. I mean, Tim Hardaway's coming back. I think the Mavericks are gonna be
Yeah,
pretty good
I
next
mean,
year.
the Mavericks are definitely they're a really solid. Like they got a lot of solid players for sure. They got a little thing going brewing down there in Dallas,
Yeah.
no doubt.
I mean, obviously you want like a star, like a fucking a dude. I mean, Christian Wood is
Yeah.
not like an all star, but he's very fucking solid.
Hey, and I mean, he's someone I could see having the chance to boom into a dude later in his career. I mean, he didn't really get a lot of opportunity until these last couple years.
Yeah.
He had a good year, and he had that good year in Detroit that kind of put him out there.
Yeah.
And it's been the last 3 years
Mhm.
where he's really gotten to play basketball for decent minutes. Some
Yeah.
of that, I believe he was undrafted or late second or something, and he's went out and turned into this kind of player. So clearly, he has the work ethic.
Yeah. And this is like the
So
first good team really gonna play on. I mean, the Pistons
yeah,
were shit. The Rockets have been rebuilding. He's actually on like a winning team. I think it's a good trade for Dallas. I like it. I mean, it's not the
and
superstar you
I'm
want.
just still so shocked that he was only worth the 26 pick, which has it. Hey,
Hey,
that has
26,
me
baby.
rubbing these hands together.
Uh huh.
Blazers got number 7.
Yep.
I mean, if Woods is number 26, shit,
What do you get
what's
for
number
seven?
7 mean?
And what's
Hold
for
up.
number four? Here we go. We're looking to trade number
Uh,
four. There we go. We might get fucking LeBron James. Hey, these teams want Jaden Ivey,
Yeah,
baby.
just all I know is that number 7 pick looking a little juicier after seeing.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the big thing for my big worry and the thing on Blazers Twitter right now is number 7 for Jeremy Grant, which would just be awful.
Oh.
I would not want to do that. That'd be a
Mm.
tough scene. He's just yeah. I
Mm.
mean, Jeremy Grant, solid player and all. He's a little
Mm.
overrated defensively and just offensively because he's on Detroit and he just does whatever he wants there. But uh, yeah, no, I would not want to trade number 7 for him straight up. But we got options now. I mean, seeing that especially, I mean, there's a world where I mean, potentially John Collins is someone that the boys are linked to. Little number 7 for 16 and John Collins potentially out there. I mean, there's definitely some.
Yeah.
There's some ways I would love an OG Anunoby. Ooh, someone that the Raptors may be potentially looking at possibly trading.
Mm-hmm.
Still a little up in the air on that one. People kind of don't really know because Masai, what's his name? Masai.
Mm.
I think it's
Yep.
a U. I forgot
Top
his name,
Tahir
but the
Tony.
Raptors
Mm-hmm.
GM. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
believe he came out and said they're not trading OG Anunoby, but he's one of the best GMs out there in the league. He's not going to tell you if he's trading someone or not. I mean, he told DeMar DeRozan that he's safe and traded him the next damn day almost.
Gotta respect
So,
that.
I mean, he's a hustler.
Mm-hmm. Anything
But
else?
yeah, any team that wants to trade their pick in this year's draft,
Kids.
Christian Wood trade just put out some baseline value for what picks are going to be worth. So
Yeah, I guess we'll
yeah,
see. But that's it for this episode. Next episode should be quite big too, because that's the draft. That we've seen a bunch of trades.
yeah, it could
Oh
be
man.
some. This could be a busy off season in the trade markets, and teams are seeing the opportunity. The NBA is a lot more wide open than
Right.
what it's been years past. Teams are going to try to jump on that, I would assume.
Yeah, we'll see what trades happen, what goes down, draft, all the shit's happening the next week. That's coming up. Anything
Can't
else you
wait
want to
for the
close out with?
draft. Hey, two people waiting for that draft
Yes,
right
sir.
here.
Number four, baby. Trade it or get Ivy. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, man, maybe a draft reaction potentially. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know how I feel
maybe.
about those. I definitely want to give a reaction of our picks probably, but just in general, there's probably better sources out there for the draft. But
I don't think so personally,
see
but
see the Blazers and Kings picks. You want
yes,
to be
sir.
here. I think. I mean,
Damn right.
Blazers fan, Kings fan. See what they do.
Yep, I agree with all your points. Is there anything else you want to say before we close it out?
No, excited for the off season.
Yep,
I think it's
it's
gonna
here.
be it could be a big one. It could be a big one.
It could be. The offseason's here. Trades are
I mean,
happening.
a lot
Draft.
of potential moving pieces out there.
Indeed. We'll see how it all goes down. We'll see you next week. So